Since it's your first interview with us, you got an album up to be released. We cannot not talk about that first major label deal. So tell me if
So that's a double negative.
no, because I mean I ask it so many times. I mean to so many bands that have been on independent labels before and then on major labels before that it sounds. I'm always wondering if it's redundant in some point. But anyway, I mean, what did
you like the B-52s?
I love them.
Do you like Blondie? Do you like Devo?
Yeah.
Do you like the Cars?
Love them.
Well, okay.
Do you like the Plastic Ono Band live in Toronto?
That was okay. I didn't hear the live album though.
Yeah, that's how we got on the subject of the B-52s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all those bands are on major labels too.
Yeah, that's it.
And the Ramones, and the Clash, and the Sex
The
Pistols.
Sex Pistols.
Not to say we're half as good as any of those bands, but pretty much.
No way can we touch a Plastic Ono.
There's our answer for the major
Not
label
with a 10
question.
foot-
Does it change anything?
Yeah, it gives you more freedom because you have more money to,
Burn.
waste.
Yeah. I bought a kick drum pedal today, which I never would have been able to do if
What do you say about bands like Mudhoney that come from Seattle but don't want to be on a major label?
Well, fine. That's
great.
their prerogative,
each their own.
Yeah.
Be a better place if we all subscribe to that philosophy, huh?
Yeah, it would be.
Did it change anything from Bleach doing that album? Was there a big change?
Yeah, there was a change the way we went about it. It was a big Hollywood. 2 years between records. Well, change, you mean the way we recorded it or the way our material?
Material.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 years band. Bleach was recorded in December of 1988. And now it is pushing December 1991. So now we even have Nevermind behind us and we're blazing new, exciting frontiers.
Does it change any? How do you say that?
Sacagawea.
She was Lewis and Clark's guide when they, there were two explorers and they trailblazed. And they went all the way and discovered the West and opened up the West. Sacagawea was their Indian guide.
Okay.
Yeah, Sacagawea.
So what about him?
Well, we were blazing new frontiers and they were blazing new frontiers. We're the Lewis and Clark and the Sacagawea of modern day rock and roll.
We were going to name the album Sacagawea, but
But
do we know how to spell it?
But we, our distribution company, wouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
Why did you entitle it? Why did you entitle the album Nevermind?
I don't know. So I could brush off the question. Forget it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Any specific things you wanted to talk about on that album? I listened to it just a couple of times since I had it a couple of days ago. I saw the video. That Smells of Teen Spirit. Smells like Teen Spirit. Were there things that were more obvious in that album than others? Were there not statements? I hate talking about statements, but especially that first. Sorry, that first song, that first statement, that first video.
What?
Statement is like
yeah.
every month I get a bank statement and I'm usually overdrawn. And
So we're not into making statements.
I don't know. There's can be statements can be made anywhere. There's a lot to be said for subtleties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
There's a lot to be said for being cryptic also.
Cryptic.
Yeah, mysterious.
So you can just like
Because we just can't explain ourselves. We don't consciously think about our music, so we can't explain it. Therefore, interviews are worthless. Let's go.
What do you think about interviews?
It's a pretty
What
good
do I think?
magazine. It's
Did
really
you hear
big.
my reaction when he asked me if I wanted to do one?
Yeah.
I said no. I said heck no.
We were an interview magazine right next to Shonen Knife. And you know who was on the cover? Matt Dillon.
Yeah, well, that's funny because I mean Cameron Crowe's doing it's funny you talk about Cameron Crowe's doing a movie with Matt Dillon in Seattle, and there are many musicians, Seattle musicians in that movie. Are you part of it at all?
No part whatsoever.
We opted not to delve in the
I saw
movie
Cotton
industry.
Candy, directed by Ron Howard. It was about this rock and roll band. And what was the evil rock and roll band name?
I don't know, was that the one with Leif Garrett in it?
Oh, that's
Leif
another one.
Garrett?
Leif Garrett. I've seen all these rock and roll movies, and it's always you know, the star. There's either Leif Garrett in it or.
There's never been a really good documentary on rock and roll
Except
bands.
for Spinal Tap was the only
Except for Spinal
rock
Tap.
movie worth watching.
Oh, and Don't Look Back by Bob Dylan.
That's true.
Have you seen that?
No.
Very, very good.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's old, made
Very
in
good.
1964.
Makes a fool out of Donovan.
It's a rockumentary.
So I mean, were you approached? Were you asked to be part of that movie at all? No.
Anything. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they did ask us.
Really?
Yeah, they asked John.
Oh, we said no.
I said no before even asking you guys.
Oh.
That's because I'm the leader of the band.
You blew my chance, man. I'm gonna roll into Hollywood. I'm gonna have a star on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm gonna have a big house with a swimming pool and all these cars, and I'm gonna get divorces and stuff. And I'm gonna have a big drug.
Max Baer, Jethro on TV's Beverly Hillbillies.
Tell me about that. That Seattle thing everybody's been talking about. I mean, there's been that Manchester scene. There's that Seattle scene now. I mean, is it relevant at all?
All scenes are relevant, but they all eventually phase into nothing, or they go away after
Or they
a while.
eventually become a parody of themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
They eventually become a parody of themselves.
people put too much emphasis on scenes. I mean, just because there happens to be a town with a few really good bands in it, I mean, big deal. It's happened all over the place, in Minneapolis and LA and New York, all over the place. So it's really no big deal. I don't understand this, like, community patriotism that everyone is boasting about in Seattle, because, like, they're claiming that they finally put Seattle on the map, but, like, what map?
Now the
Who
rents
cares?
are going up.
Yeah, everyone's moving to Seattle. I mean, we had Jimi Hendrix. Heck, what more do we want?
We went to his grave once, and there was a guitar picks and beer bottles all over it. And we went to Bruce Lee's grave at like 1:30 in the morning. It's really wild. It was like in the Chinese part of the cemetery.
There were punji sticks and nunchucks laying all over the place.
We thought for sure there was these ninjas creeping behind these tombstones. We're like, whoa! But then again, the state of mind we were in at the time would be like,
But
they were ninja turtles.
But do you feel that since everybody's been talking about Seattle, did you feel that it helped you in any ways getting that recording contract, or it has nothing to do with it?
It might have, yeah. I suppose it did.
We were in on that.
We're
whole-
grateful for it, I guess. I mean, we were never seeking out a major label contract in the first place. It just happened. I don't know if it would have happened if we weren't on Sub Pop or not, but I don't know. It's just, we got a lot of press in Europe because of the Sub Pop scene. And it wasn't necessarily because John and Bruce were these mastermind guys, getting a lot of interviews, like using their talents to get interviews. I mean, they were in ways, but also a lot of the journalists over in Europe happened to like the band, sincerely like them, so they wrote about them. It wasn't as much of a hype as everyone thinks it was.
But I mean, since the album is going to be released in a few weeks, are you doing that tour? I mean, are some parts of that tour being done without those people not knowing about the album? Are you planning to go back in those cities, or I mean, didn't you feel that it would have been a good thing to wait until the album was released?
Yeah, it took about a week or two too early. So what can you?
You've been complaining about that?
Yeah.
But I mean, how many gigs have you got on that tour?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at the
Well,
itinerary.
the album comes out on the 23rd.
The album comes out next Tuesday.
Today's 20.
Yeah.
We'll just be following it. Kids will be buying it the day, practically the day that we play in every city. Just barely becoming familiar with it. So, it would have been more wise to wait a little while. But
do you feel that radios may help you? Do you feel that the music might fit that mainstream thing everybody's talking about?
I think that people sort of get sucked into the single that we have out now with the melody of the song, and they don't realize it's so heavy because they're singing along to the song or whatever. But if you listen to it in the succession of songs, it's a lot heavier than most of the stuff that's on the radio.
There's other bands like breaking into the like commercial radio and stuff, so we're not just kind of following in,
the new wave gets thrown into the mainstream and they try it again.
Tell me about that Teen Spirit song. Since it's the first video, first single, I just watched the video. We received it yesterday. I loved it, but tell me if did you have anything to do in elaborating it, doing it?
We thought of the whole idea. It was just our idea was to have a pep assembly scene that's gone bad. You know, that's gone bad.
Anything you've experienced before?
No, it was just more or less like a fantasy of ours for that to happen in high school while we're sitting at a pep assembly bored off our skulls, you know. So after a while we resorted to skipping the pep assemblies, not going to them at all. But I don't know, it's just an idea.
Did it
use the youth theme, you know.
I mean, how do you feel about youth? Since you talk about it in the song.
Well, Sonic Youth's a great band.
But what about Teen Spirits?
Well, I hate seeing all these just normal-looking teenagers. They dress like their parents, you know, and they have the same values. So it's like it's kind of a shame.
Our parents are in control of the entertainment industry, and there's no generation gap anymore because the kids and the parents like the same music, and it's really frightening to us. So maybe that's what we tried to incorporate into the video.
How do you feel that the parents of the kids listening to your music will react?
Well, we haven't done any good, have we?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't think we've done a damn dent in the generation gap at all. I'm really ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Hang our heads in shame.
Really? Shame on you, Shane.
Are you serious?
Shane.
Oh, that's a good movie.
That's Batman.
Oh, no, that was a Western movie.
Yeah, but there was.
We're avoiding the question. What were you saying?
I don't know.
That movie was called Shane.
We're talking about Teen Spirits, but no, I think I got material on that. Okay, well, anyway, I mean, what about that show tonight? Is it different from one night to another? Is it something you like being on tour, or would you just like to stick by the recording studios and do some more songs?
Touring is wonderful. Yeah. You get to eat on the road. You get to sit in a van like this and like be jostled for like 8 hours a day.
You get free alcohol every night. Mm-hmm. Well, who can ask for more? It's a party every night. You go to
cauliflower like the last couple nights.
That's good. Cheese.
Yeah, or like some sort of chive dip. It's been right on.
You got to keep solid if you're crogging down those beers, you know. So it's good to eat a lot of veggies and cheese and stuff, because I think my insides start to swell after a while, you know. And it's just like not a very pleasant experience. Well, it's pleasant when I'm drunk, but like.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.